Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, we are going to be building a $500 brand new gaming PC. It's gonna perform good, it looks really good, and for $500 using new parts, you can't go wrong with it. So like, subscribe, and enjoy the video. Alright, let's get started. So for the CPU, I went with the Ryzen 5 5500 CPU. It costed around $82 when I bought it, but I don't know why right now during Prime Week or Prime Day on Amazon, it's $88. So the price went up, so it's weird, but if you could get it for $82 or less, then that's even better. But if you have enough money for the Ryzen 5 5600X, then you could get that CPU for around $112 through $114 on Amazon, which will perform much better. And it comes with a stock cooler, so you'll be good to go. To save money, I went with the regular stock AMD cooler. The reason for this is because we are not going to be doing overclocking, so the stock cooler will get the job done. Now, if you want to overclock, then another CPU cooler will be much better, such as the Thermalright Tower fan, which costs about $17 on Amazon. As you can see, I spray painted the AMD stock cooler to an orange glossy type color, and considering it's my first time, it's not that bad. You know, I think I did a decent job, so pretty good. For the motherboard, we are using an Asus Prime B450M micro ATX motherboard. This motherboard costs around $65 through $75, but if you order it through the TikTok shop, you can actually get it for around $44. I've never bought anything from TikTok, so I had a first customer deal and I got it for $44, including free shipping and tax, so that was a big steal. This motherboard does not have Wi-Fi, so you will need to order a Wi-Fi card or a Wi-Fi to USB antenna adapter that connects at the back of your motherboard in order to get Wi-Fi. But if you're just going to use an Ethernet cable, this is perfectly fine. This motherboard is PCIe 3.0, so you will not get PCIe 4.0 speeds, but 3.0 is still good. For the RAM, we are going with a Silicon Power 16GB RAM. The megahertz is 3200 megahertz, so that is the minimum that you should be aiming for in 2024, so it's not bad. You can get this RAM for around $29 through $30 on Amazon, so it's pretty good. It will get you started and it looks decent. It's not a bad looking RAM, so it's better than the green ones. When you build your PC, just remember to go to your BIOS and enable XMP or DLCP. This will allow the RAM to run at a faster speed and can increase FPS. For storage, we are going with a Teamgroup MP33 M.2 drive. It is PCIe 3.0 and it does not have DRAM, but to get you started, it's not a bad first starter drive. Of course, you can always upgrade in the future and get a drive such as the Sabrent Rocket 1.0 that has the DRAM, and it is recommended that your drive has DRAM, but if it's your first PC, you will not notice a difference and it will get the job done. It costs around $32 on Amazon right now, so it actually went down in price from $37 to $32. For the case, we're going with a Montech ARGB micro ATX mid-tower case. This is the Air 100 model, meaning it will have good airflow at the front because it's mesh, and it comes with 4 ARGB fans, so you could cycle the colors through the reset switch or through a software such as RGB Fusion. This case is absolutely amazing. It's a 10 out of 10. It looks really clean. It comes with 4 ARGB fans, and it has pretty good room to cable manage, so not a bad case. And for $50, you can't go wrong with it. This case costs around $54, but if you get it through TikTok, you can get it for $50, so you're saving around $4 through $5. For the power supply, we're going with an Apevia Prestige 600 watt 80 plus gold certified ATX power supply. This power supply costs around $52 on Amazon, and it's rated C in the PSU tier list. At one point, the Apevia Prestige used to be ketchup and mustard cables, but they changed it to all black cables, so that is a huge W. Now, this is not required, but if you have an extra $20, you can buy extension cables and it will make the build look even better. For the GPU, we went with the AMD Radeon RX 6600 8GB graphics card. Now, I got this specific model, which is the Asus Dual, for around $200, but right now it actually went up in price. But there's actually an even cheaper RX 6600 that will still get the job done. It looks clean, and for $20 less, you can't go wrong with it. It is the Gigabyte Eagle Radeon RX 6600. It's pretty much the same card, just with a different design. It will perform the same. Maybe the temps are a little bit higher, but it's nothing too crazy. So I would highly recommend getting the Gigabyte Eagle RX 6600, which is brand new for $180. So you're saving $20 more than what I did. So that's a pretty good deal. The RX 6600 is a perfect card for 1080p. As you will see in the benchmarks, it will handle 1080p perfectly fine and a little bit of 1440p. So pretty good. Alright, the build is complete, and now it's time for the montage. Alright, so a couple optimizations I did for this PC was to enable XMP. As you can see, we enabled XMP, which is also called DLCP. This will allow the RAM to run at a faster speed. We're running at 3200 megahertz, and this can help with FPS. We also enabled 4G decoding. You have to enable 4G decoding in order to enable resize bar. I also set the CPU fan profile to turbo. The reason I did this was so that the CPU could run at a faster RPM. This will allow the CPU to cool better. So anything below 75 degrees should be perfectly fine. Once you get above 75 degrees, you will lose a little bit of performance. So just to be safe, I turned on turbo, and that's not even the max. There's another setting that will run at full RPM speed. So turbo is in between standard and full RPM speed, so I would suggest doing that in case you're having high CPU temperatures. Alright, so now we are benchmarking Fortnite performance mode. As you can see, we're getting about 200 FPS, and it's pretty good. We are using 100% 3D res, and everything's on low on performance mode. Low meshes, low view distance, low textures. And yeah, it looks good. Good FPS. And less input delay. If you're playing on performance mode, just play the first 2 matches, like just walk around the map, and after the 2 matches your game should feel much better, meaning less stuttering and stuff like that. We're on DX12 high Lumen settings with ray tracing, 1080p resolution, and yeah, we're getting good FPS considering it's on high lumen with ray tracing. During the box fight we got around 70 FPS, and right now as we're swimming, walking around, we're getting about 70 through 90 FPS. The graphics look insane on Lumen settings, the lighting, the trees, the water is just absolutely clean. Now for the first 2 matches I did stutter, but after the 2 matches the game felt much better. There was less stuttering and it was more stable. Considering we're not getting around 90 FPS, I would suggest just capping your FPS on 60 if you plan on playing on high lumen settings. But yeah, it's pretty good. Not bad. Alright, so now we're using 1440p settings. As you can see, we're on ultra epic settings with ambient occlusion lighting. And yeah, we're getting about 75 FPS on 1440p ultra. And yeah, the game looks smooth, it looks clean. We're getting consistent 70 FPS. This card is mostly meant for 1080p, but like I said, some games you'll be able to play 1440p perfectly fine. As you can see, we're getting about 70 FPS on ultra epic settings on Fortnite, so it's pretty good. Graphics are good. It's not lumen settings, but if you don't mind playing on ultra settings, or if you rather play on ultra settings instead of lumen, since lumen is a little bit darker, then yeah, ultra is perfectly fine and you'll get better FPS. And on 1440p resolution, so the game will be even more crispier. Alright, so now we are benchmarking Call of Duty Warzone. As you can see, we're getting about 115 through 120 FPS. And this is with no upscaling, meaning no FSR 1, FSR 3, frame gen, nothing. Just native resolution. And yeah, we're getting pretty good FPS on basic settings. So not bad. I'm not the best Warzone player, so yeah, my gameplay is not the best, but just know that you'll be getting about 100 through 120 FPS, so pretty good. Alright, so now we are benchmarking Warzone on extreme ultra settings, so this is the max. And as you can see, we're getting about 70 through 90 FPS, so this is pretty good considering we're not using upscaling, we're not using frame gen, FSR 3, FSR 1. This is pure native, no upscaling gameplay. And our GPU is at 60 degrees Celsius, so that is really good. Not bad at all. Alright, so now we are benchmarking Valorant. And it's weird because on low settings we actually got less FPS. We got an average of 180 FPS on low, but on high settings we got an average of 200 FPS. This is ultra max settings on Valorant, and yeah, we're getting an average of 200 FPS. Not bad. I am extremely trash at Valorant, so don't mind the gameplay. It's just for benchmarks. I'm absolutely terrible on KBM.
Ultimate orb spawning.
As you saw in those benchmarks, this PC build was able to handle gaming perfectly fine, and it looks incredible with the orange aesthetics. I will do a separate video benchmarking several games with this build on low and ultra 1080p and 1440p settings, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching the video. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay safe everyone. Peace!